wish I had something to get me across this creek. Well, thanks to Cornelius Vanderbilt, we don't have to worry about that anymore because we have lots of railroads.
How did this happen?
I bet you're wondering, how did Cornelius Vanderbilt get rich? He started off at a steamboat business owned by Thomas Gibbons, and he began his way to his fame in 1817. In 1829, he began building and operating ferry lines in New York and in the New York area. He became a dominant force by engaging in fierce wars for different steamboat empires. Then he became one of the largest steamship operators in America at that time. And also, during the gold rush, Vanderbilt started to launch a steamship service that would ship prospectors through Panama so they could mine in San Francisco because of the California gold rush. He also was involved in the Erie Railroad War when he battled Wall Street traders Jim Fisk and Jay Gould for financial control of the Erie Railroad.
Vanderbilt also owned an entire railroad system due to its stock investments in the early 1850s. Vanderbilt owned most of Northeast railroads in Maine, Massachusetts, New York, and Connecticut. Why was he positive?
Well, you might be asking, what are the positives? Well, I'm about to tell you right here. Just listen. He helped the coal, steel, and oil industry take off. Without the railroads he built, there would be no use for coal. He helped the steel industry out because he provided transportation for them, and same for the oil companies.
Why was he negative?
What were the negatives? The negatives were he stabbed business partners in the back for his benefit, increase of air pollution from usage of coal, and he was an unstoppable monopoly.
Well, that sounds bad, but at least they were good working conditions, right?
The working conditions were, it was very difficult and dangerous to work. This was because sometimes they had to blow up like mountains and stuff that was in the way of the railroad. The weather, the weather was very extreme, so sometimes it was very hot and sometimes it was very cold. And the problem with that was they had to work 12 hours a day and 6 days per week. So they'd be very physically exhausted, either from the heat or cold. And they didn't even get that much pay. They got $2.50 per day. That's 8 hours an hour today. So that's not a lot of money to get them by.
How did this affect America?
Cornelius Vanderbilt, his business affected America in a very, very big way. It basically influenced the entire Civil War. So Vanderbilt and his railroads, he owned all of them in the north, basically New York to Pennsylvania to Ohio. And that meant that the Union could transfer all their military goods anywhere they wanted to because of Vanderbilt's railroads. And these railroads, because the South didn't have very many of them, were a big reason why the Union was able to win in the end. So yeah, he basically won the war for the Union. He also just really revolutionized the transportation industry and helped Americans move from rural areas to urban areas. In conclusion, Cornelius Vanderbilt made his money, started from the steamboats, used that money to buy the railroads, and he became a billionaire from that. Some pros and cons: he helped out a bunch of businesses, and then he also had really bad working conditions and polluted a lot of stuff. And yeah, so Vanderbilt was a really big guy, second richest person in America, behind Rockefeller, and yeah.
Thanks to Cornelius Vanderbilt, we don't have to worry about that anymore because we have lots of railroads. Then became the biggest steamship operator in America. During the gold rush, Vanderbilt started to launch a steamship service. Yikes. And you might be wondering, how did this happen? Well, I'm about to tell you. So, how did he get rich? He made money by making... Where did it?
Bro.